Dan.
Hey, buddy.
Back again.
We are.
I mean,
love it.
I can't believe we've actually made this many in a row. With we didn't skip. We just boom, 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 boom. We
had 1 week without a podcast, but we went live. That was fun. We got to see a lot of our like you're saying. It was funny because the live show, it just kind of picks up where we left off like 2 years ago.
I know,
the same
exactly.
people, the same comments.
Same amount of people watching, and it was a riot. The people sending us messages saying, "Man, glad you're back." And I'm like, "Well, I'm glad we can entertain 10 people on a Friday night or a Monday night or whatever it was."
And hey, we haven't been canceled in the 5 days since then because of the the part that got a little off there.
Could have easily been canceled in that little segment there. But you're a little tired today. What's the story, Dan? You got a big week here. What's going on?
I do. Actually, when this episode drops, it'll be my 50th birthday on Monday. So today, for those who are listening, the fives of you who are checking out the podcast, but on today, when we're filming this, when we're recording this, I decided to knock out a bucket list item, and I did a triathlon this morning. So I went to the gym. It wasn't like an organized event. We have a pool, we have stationary bikes, and we have ellipticals and stuff like that. So I downloaded the distances and went ahead and did it.
Nice.
So
nice.
Took me about 4 hours, and
it
went pretty well.
Yeah, that's not bad. You got through it in 4 hours. That's good.
Yeah,
it's really good.
I was getting cocky too, like because the pool. I was a swimmer in high school, and that stays with you. So I crushed the pool. I was in and out in about 38 minutes. It's like a 1.5 kilometers, and just short of a mile. And then the bike is like 25 miles. Ooh. And I was clipping along. My butt was getting sore from the seat, but other than that, I was moving. I was doing well. And then I got off the bike, and my legs were like, they turned into Jason Bateman. They're like, "The fuck you are!" Like they were done. So
nope, I give
up.
But
the run piece at the end, that was the tricky part. So, but I got through.
Nice.
And I'm here, and I'm having a drink, and then looking forward to this.
Your legs are gonna hate you tomorrow, and then the next day, because it's a 2-day delay for me. It's usually the second day after I do something like that where they really hurt, and I can't move.
As long as it doesn't rain or snow or something, I'll probably just go for a walk here in the neighborhood, just kind of loosen them up. So
stay loose. Hey, you know what? We got a guest waiting for us, man. We got to get this thing rolling. Into it. So, you know what? Let's play that theme song.
Appletinis with Ken. Appletinis with Ken. Oh, yeah. Appletinis with Ken. Oh. Appletinis with Ken. Oh, yeah. Oh. Appletinis with Ken. Appletinis with Ken. Oh, yeah.
All right, we're back, man. And today, Dan, we've got a guest from good old La La Land. L.A., man. L.A. guest. I love when we have L.A. guests, man. They always, I can never figure out the time, and they make fun of me because my time management and my math.
Because you can't add 3?
Yes, my time math really sucks, and then they make fun of me. And, but anyway, we got a guest from LA, and if you would like to introduce that person, that would be fantastic.
All right, guys, our guest today is originally an East Coast actor who has survived, unlike many people, working with Dan DeLuca and moved on to the West Coast, where he's a successful working actor now. You've seen him in a number of your favorite shows, including Bones, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Mindy Project, This Is Us, Two Broke Girls, Monk, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, one of my favorites. Frasier, The First Time Around, 911, 1883. He was an Ant-Man Quantumania. You just saw him on the Super Bowl in the Popeyes commercial with Ken Jeong. Welcome our guest, Alan Heitz.
There he is. What's happening, Alan? How you doing, man?
Hey, look at me. I'm in Los Angeles. Hey.
Yeah, I love it. We always have a blast when we bring these LA punks on, man. We like that.
Hey,
well, mix it
check
up.
it out. I'm in an earthquake. Whatever. Blue.
So, how you doing, man? How's it going out there?
I'm great, man. I mean, we had some crazy rains going on here, but it's fine.
Yeah, we saw that. Yeah, you got a lot of rain. The atmospheric river, they were calling it.
Yeah.
Here, so
Yeah, I don't know what that means. Like, I'm just
Me
like,
neither.
okay, sure.
it just seems to me like every other week they come up with this new weather term for whatever's happening in the country, just to make it more interesting to us, so we'd all talk about it.
Yeah. In my day, it was called rain.
Yes.
Right.
Heavy rain.
Yeah. It's raining.
We can send Jim Cantori out to your front yard to hang out on the Weather Channel and get the ratings there.
I got a leak on my roof, but put a tarp up there. It's fine. We're good.
All right. Fair enough. Who climbed up there? Did you make the kids go up, put the tarp up?
This guy.
Oh.
This guy.
Wait, there it is. I love that. I love the new Apple system. When you do that, it gives you the emojis and stuff. Don't ever turn that off, Alan. Just keep that on for all your podcasts and everything.
After everything.
You're moving forward. So
Really sucks for people that are listening and can't see it, but
Right.
there you go.
yeah, but they
They're
can
gonna have
watch
to wonder what you just did.
Yeah, I don't know what he did.
They can watch it on YouTube though.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. You can always watch us on YouTube. We put this up on YouTube every week too. So go over to YouTube, folks. Like and subscribe to Appletinis with Ken. We just saw you on TV last week. Well, what was it? 2 weeks ago now. But
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. But you were in a Super Bowl commercial for Popeyes Chicken.
That's right. It's running right now, so yay for me.
Yeah, no kidding. We had a bunch of friends that were in commercials this year. We had Kathy Sherrill. I don't know if you know her. Shraven Amin was in one. You, of course, the Popeyes commercial with Dr. Ken. As soon as I saw you, I was just like, there he is. Woo! My family was going nuts. But what was it like to do that commercial and work with Dr. Ken? Was he a cool, down-to-earth guy, or did he blow you off, kind of a thing, because he's from LA?
Oh, no, he's cool. I've met him before. I used to do sketch comedy with Joel McHale.
Wow.
So he knows Joel, and I went to an event for Joel, and he was there, so I met him then. But this is like 10 years ago or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he's a great guy. It was fine. It was just
He's one of those people. It's like he doesn't have that thing in our brains that regulates shame. It doesn't regulate. He will do anything. He just all in, and I love it.
Yeah, he's genuinely a nice guy too. So it was cool.
I was checking out your clips on IMDb, and you had one clip where you're playing like a scientist who wants to go into get funding to freeze people, and then the Popeyes commercial like, hey, it worked out for him. He got the money. So,
yeah. There are some characters I've done that I'm like, oh, that's just a continuation of a character I did 10 years ago, and I got this part because I was basically this guy from this part. So yeah, I was in a movie called Quiz Lady that just came out, and I was a stage manager, and I actually did a short film 10, 12 years ago, and I was the exact same curmudgeon stage manager, so it worked out. So
It is funny how we do similar roles throughout our career. Like, I can't tell you how many times I played a goddamn cop, right? It's one right after another. So it's crazy. It's just crazy.
I do not play cops.
But you do play a lot of great characters throughout your acting career. And have you always been in acting? What got you into it? Were you in high school and just started the theater program, or what was it?
I was always in it. I did high school plays, and I grew up in Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
So I did a lot of high school plays there. And then when I went to college, I did some theater, but I didn't study theater. I studied journalism. And then when my dad died in '94, I was like, well, screw it. I'm just going to be an actor. And I just went and did all sorts of community theater all around D.C. and Maryland and Virginia. And then got to the point where I was like, well, what else do I do from there? So I was like either New York or Los Angeles, and I figured I could probably do better in Los Angeles because of my I'm a character.
We were actually talking about that before the show, Dan and I, about you're the it guy, you're the character guy. You're always, you pop up in almost everything. I mean, what's it like to be that type of an actor? I mean,
guy.
Yes.
That guy, the guy. Yeah, it's weird. Like I'm the guy that's kind of in everything now.
Mm-hmm.
But I've now become like that meme with Leo going, oh,
Yeah.
you know, seeing that. It's pretty crazy, but it's fine. I'm okay with it.
It keeps you working, right?
Yeah, it keeps me working. The family loves it.
Yeah, the family loves it. No kidding. No kidding. Now, you said that you worked with Joel McHale. You did comedy stuff. Did you do a lot of improv when you first got out to LA, or are you still involved?
Yeah, I did Groundlings, and I went right through the Groundlings program, and then they kicked me out. Don't know. So, dude, they're like, "You're doing great. Everything's wonderful. Thank you for coming. Bye bye. Have fun." And that was it. So I was like, I don't know what happened there. But then after that, I went to Acme Comedy Theater. They're not around anymore, but I did that, and that's where I met Joel.
Okay.
At Acme.
Very cool.
A bunch of people came out of there. Adam Carolla and.
Oh, nice. So what we do here on the show is we drink. Obviously, it's Appletinis the Podcast, and Dan usually has his drink. I usually have my Appletini, but my stomach's a little bit messed up tonight, so I'm drinking tea. So sorry, guys, I'm not getting drunk tonight.
I'm drinking water.
You're drinking water, but
Yeah.
do you have a favorite drink, or is that just you're a beer guy?
I like tequila. Yeah. I like tequila.
Okay, fair enough.
I've gotten into wine though a lot recently. So I like Cabernets and Super Tuscans. So
Okay.
Drank a lot during lockdown, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Who
That's
didn't, right?
when I found bourbon, and
Yeah.
we've been together ever since.
There you go.
So have you tried the Rock's new Terramana tequila? Is that? I haven't tried it.
I kind of stay away from the celebrity endorsed tequilas. I'm kind of a tequila snob in that respect. But I heard it's pretty good. The George Clooney one's pretty good.
Okay.
I haven't had the Rock one, but the George Clooney one's pretty good.
Well, I'm going to be out there in end of May, beginning of June, so I'm going to bring over a bottle of Terramana, and then we'll
Bring it.
attack
But
it.
make sure it's Reposado and not Blanco. So
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Reposado. I don't know what that means, but I'll make sure that I ask.
there's Reposado, Añejo, and Blanco. And Blanco is what they use for like mixing drinks and stuff like that.
Ah,
But,
gotcha.
Reposado is a good sipping tequila.
Okay.
And Añejo, it's all how they're aged, if they're aged in a barrel or whatnot. Hey, welcome to Alcohol Stories.
Exactly. I love alcohol stories. They're the best kind.
Yeah.
All great stories start with I was drinking bourbon on my porch, or I was doing
there you
shots
go,
of tequila. They all great stories start like that.
And then a horse walked by.
So, when you go out in LA for a drink, what's your favorite spot? Where's your favorite spot to go? You and the wife, you go out for a date night or something. Where are you going? Where you going to get that wine or tequila, or what is it?
Man, we don't really go out anymore. We got kids. We got little kids. It's just all about the kids. We might go on a date, but sometimes it's sushi, and then we get sushi stuff. But usually when we go out, we have to like come home because something happened with the kids. So
Yeah.
I don't really have a favorite watering spot anymore. So.
Or you take the kids out to like Chuck
Or you
E.
take
Cheese.
the kids with you.
Chuck E. Cheese, yeah, and you're over there in the corner with the little flask,
With the Bud Light, and hey, you got something for me?
and then your wife's got to drive because you ain't driving.
Yeah, right. Or
I've been there.
We'll get an Uber.
I've been there many times. Many times. As an actor, right? We like to ask when actors come on. We like to ask them, being in the industry for as long as you have, and everything that you've learned along the way, what would you say to yourself, that young actor from Maryland? What would you say if you could go back in time and just give that actor one piece of advice about, what's coming up? What would you say?
Just put your blinders on. Don't worry about everything else. It's just it's you. It's your journey. It's nobody else's journey. I mean, you can't sit there and be like, I'm going to be a doctor and this is what I need to get that and do this and blah, blah, blah. There's no steps. So it's your individual journey. So some people like, they'll get a series regular right off the bat and then they're, back home 2 years later because it didn't work out for them. Mm-hmm. And some people are just, I've been lucky that I've just kept at it. Keep at it is kind of my motto. So
yeah, that seems to be a common theme with a lot of actors who are successful. They went out, and the famous story is Harrison Ford. They asked him, "Why are you Harrison Ford? Why are you a movie star?" And he goes, "I came out here on a bus with 40 people. 39 of them went back to Iowa, and I'm still here. That's why I'm a movie star."
It gets very hard, I think, for a lot of people not to compare. You have this whole peer group of actors that you'd go to classes with and things like that, and some of them are popping, and some of us are not, and so you sit there, and I think that's great advice, just to keep those blinders on, to not compare yourself or not measure yourself against someone else's career milestones.
You just can't. And there's so many, like I'll the story of Popeyes. Even I went out for the part and the breakdown was young scientist. I'm not, I'm just clearly not. And most people, when they see that, they're like, why would my agent submit me for this or anything like that? I'm not young, I'm old, blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to get this part. And then they kind of talk themselves out of it. For me, it's an opportunity to show them what I got. So, and it worked. You can't limit yourself.
No, you can't. And speaking of, when you came out here to Maryland, and I think we can talk about it now because it's going to be released shortly, but you had the opportunity to audition for a movie that when you saw the finished thing, it wasn't even close to you or your type, Do you audition for a lot of roles like that?
Clearly, I will say that looking at the footage of the film, mm-hmm. It would not behoove them to have the guy beat me up. a young 20s dude, that's fine, but an older man, that doesn't look right.
Yeah, but so, I got to tell you though, when you did the role, you did a great job.
It was a great audition, but that happens. It happens a lot. I go out for parts I don't go out for parts that say 20s. Yeah, but I 30s to mid 40s, and then sometimes I go out for parts that are like 50 through 70. So sometimes I'm in the running, sometimes I'm not. I don't even look at that. I just kind of look at what are they giving me, and then use it. And it's their problem. It's not my problem.
Right. That's your job, is to give them the problem. Like, man, we like that guy. Now what?
We like Popeyes. We wanted a younger scientist, and well, it's this guy.
Yeah. I'll take it.
Yeah, I'll take it. Yeah.
Exactly. So you got to work with Dan DeLuca many years ago, and I'm sorry, and I apologize.
I apologize in advance for that.
Yeah. So, what was that like? How did you get to work with Dan DeLuca? What did he put out, like a casting call or something?
That was so long ago, I don't even remember.
Really?
I don't even know. I think you're talking the 90s or something like that.
It was.
I think we're both looking very much forward to not being able to remember working with Dan DeLuca.
All three of us. We're just like, oh, man.
Yeah, that jerk.
One day, that's the dream, man.
One day we'll move on and we won't have to worry about Dan DeLuca ever again. All right.
Screw that guy. Screw you, Dan.
Trust me, he's not part of the tens of listeners that we have. We've got, I don't know, maybe 10, 11 people listening. He's not one of them. I know my mom's one of them. What about your mom, Dan?
Oh, awesome.
Occasionally. My mom checks in every now and then.
Yeah. So
She likes the podcast more than the live show, I think.
yeah, the live show can get out of hand. It can go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can take a tangent and go crazy. So, which it did last one, Dan. It was bad.
It was. It went somewhere.
Oh yeah, that wasn't good. That wasn't good. So you also had an opportunity to work on, and I would murder somebody to do this, to work on a Marvel Universe project, Ant-Man Quantumanium. What was that like?
It was very surreal. It was Ant-Man. They filmed a lot of it in advance, and my part, it literally was like at the end of the movie, and it was all reshoots. So around the movie came out in February, and I was shooting this in January, and I didn't even know what I was working on.
Mm-hmm.
So they wouldn't tell you. I auditioned like it was a year ago. I auditioned the first week of January, and that's like what was it, like a Tuesday in January, and then by that Saturday I stepped on the set. So,
Wow.
so it was really crazy. And then they keep everything kind of hidden.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know, I had no idea really what I was doing, which lends to improv quite a bit. It really, you just go like, okay, I got to lean heavy on my improv skills. And that was cool. But I walked in, and then there's Michael Douglas and Michelle Pfeiffer and Paul Rudd. And then you're like, oh, okay, this is what's happening today.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's amazing. You got to work with those guys. Wow, I would have passed out.
Was that, did
Yeah,
the reshoots happen in LA, or were you out in Atlanta? I know a lot of the stuff there, they shoot in Atlanta.
It was all in LA.
Okay.
Yeah. And like I said, it was reshoots, so I think they just needed quick stuff.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, most of that stuff's in Atlanta. So
That's cool.
That seems to be the way with Marvel. Like we talked about it before. There was a Jon Favreau show where he was talking to a couple of the cast members, and Gwyneth Paltrow didn't even realize she was in Spider-Man No Way Home, and they're like, "Yeah, you're in the end of that." She's like, "I didn't know." So it's like, that must be nice to not know which mega blockbuster you're in.
You mentioned that you relied heavily on your improv skills. So as an actor, for me, when I took improv, I did it with Second City up in New York. They used to have when I first started. And I felt that doing improv opened me up as an actor. Did you kind of have a similar type of experience with doing improv, or was just improv just something that you were just always comfortable with and just wanted to do?
No, I did acting classes in DC, and I studied at Studio Theater. Mm-hmm. And some people that I studied class with wanted to do an improv troupe, create an improv troupe. And so I joined their improv troupe. And I remember when we would do the shows, I kind of knew the games. I didn't really know them too much. Mm-hmm. But when I started doing the improv, it was just a light went off. Like, oh, I can do this. This. It was so freeing, and nice. I could do anything. Like as long as I adhere to who, what, where. Yep. I can pretty much do anything. And that was also the catalyst of me moving to Los Angeles, because Groundlings was out here, and Second City is out here too. Yeah. So that kind of fueled me, because I knew that most of the Groundlings were on SNL. So I was like, well, I'll go there. I'll study at Groundlings, and then that'll hone my skills, and it totally did. My improv skills, like I'm at the point now where I can't teach it, but I just know it.
That's really cool. I felt in my career that improv really took me to another level. Like I was struggling, and then I took that improv class, and I was just like boom, boom, and and then I started to book a lot more.
Yeah, and for commercials, it's definitely key. It's
Absolutely.
definitely key in commercials. Yeah.
think one of the things with improv is there's so much relies on listening, and so then even if you're not doing improv in other types of acting, it's if you get that muscle of listening kind of developed, then you carry that over into whatever you do, and that helps you.
Yeah, a lot of the responses I do it's just second nature now.
You mentioned that you worked and took classes at Studio Theater.
Yeah.
So
Joy Zinnemann.
Yes. Did you ever take class with Joy?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she was fun.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, Joy was a lot of fun. Yeah, it was Serge though,
that.
right? Was that her assistant Serge? What was his name? Was it Serge?
I took Serge Seiden.
Yeah.
I took Serge's first acting class that he taught,
Mhm.
and then I went through the studio program. I took Shakespeare with Joy.
Oh.
Yeah, so that was interesting.
Yeah.
I definitely have a bunch of teachers in my life that are very similar to Joy, and
Yeah, just so the audience knows, Joy is she was very tough on actors and directors and people who took classes. I did a scene for a director's class there, and she really was all over the director for the scene that we did. And oh man, it was tough to watch, because
it's on brand. That's on brand.
It was tough to watch. I was just like, ooh, I felt so uncomfortable for the director. And me as an actor, I wasn't in the studio. I wasn't taking class there at the time. I was just part of that scene, and
she railed me a new one night, and I'll never forget it. She left the room and then came back into the room to continue. It was like, it was almost like, and another thing.
Yes. She remembered. She was like, it hit her halfway down the hall. She was like, oh.
Yeah, it was like, what just happened? I don't...
Okay, so you were at studio. Ray Seahorn was there at the same time as you, or close to the same time. Is that true?
I was in that improv troupe with Ray.
Yes. Please tell me the story of when you saw her again. Could you tell? Because I know you told me that story when I was in LA last time. So you got to tell me that story.
Yeah. It's been 30 years, so she wouldn't. People come up to me and be like, "Hey, remember you did this?" And I'm like, "No,
Nope.
I don't." The same thing with Ray. It happened to like, "Hey, remember me?" And she's like, "Okay," but then there's a lot of other people there too.
Oh, I love that.
I get it. It happens.
No, she totally remembered you. She was just messing with you.
Yeah. I'm very forgettable.
Oh, I love that one. We go up to, like, if I see Cal Ripken, I was like, yeah, remember that time we took ground balls up in Rochester? He's like looking at me like,
what?
No.
No.
Yeah, I don't. No, I don't remember you. I was like, oh man, he big leagued me. She big leagued you, dude.
Yeah.
It happens.
Well, she has every right to. So
she's done well. Yes,
she's done very well. So.
She's done very well. You had a chance to work on one of my favorite series, produced by Taylor Sheridan. You got a chance to be in 1883. What's that like working on a Western? Because I know you really like and you enjoy doing Westerns.
Yeah, it's fun. I was in Texas, in the Texas Panhandle, and there's absolutely nothing there. It's just flat lands, and it was a perfect place for a Western. It was a great time. It was, play dress up with the cowboy outfits, and yeah,
Did you get
horses and everything. I didn't ride the horse, but it looked like I did, but I did.
Yeah.
They had somebody else there. But
Did you get an opportunity to meet Sam Elliott?
it was real quick.
Yeah.
I didn't, because my scenes weren't with him or anything like that, but it was real quick. Just the hellos, and that was about it.
I also saw you did a short. Could you tell us the name of that and where people can see it? Because you did a short, a Western short that was on YouTube, I think.
Oh, yeah. It's called The Book of Nukpana. As a friend of mine, we met at an audition, and then he's like, hey, you got a great face. Would you like to be in my movie? And, usually that's like what?
What? Yeah, like,
But
what?
in any other place, it's like, what? But here, it's like, oh, yeah, sure. So we drove out to Joshua Tree and shot it out in the desert. So it was cool.
They didn't give you all the detail and say, well, it's a Western.
yeah. It's a Western.
It's a Western
sort of a horror film.
Porn. It's a Western porn. They didn't.
Western porn. You won't be wearing clothes.
I forgot to tell you that conveniently, right? Well,
yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I'm game. Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, it wouldn't be on YouTube. So what's the name of it again? One more time.
It's Beyond You Porn.
Yes, it would be. How do you know that?
No.
What's the name of the short again? Yes, I love that. There it is.
The short is called The Book of Nukpana.
Nukpana.
It's on YouTube.
Okay, The Book of Nukpana. It's on YouTube. That's awesome. So there's another thing that you do that I find hilariously funny. And first, we need to tell people, where can they find you? And we've already put it up on the screen. So, but yeah, if you read that for us, that would be fantastic.
It's my Instagram handle. It's called Heitzagram.
Mm-hmm.
HEITZAGRAM. So kind of like Instagram, but Heitzagram.
Which is amazing. And on that Heitzagram, you do monologues. Can you tell us a little bit about those monologues and how that all started? Because those are amazing monologues, and I find every one of them hilarious.
Actually, it started because I wanted to figure out lighting for self-tapes. So I would just film things and try different lighting techniques. And then I was like, well, why don't I do a monologue? It was also like past lockdown, and people were like, we don't know what to do, so let's do Shakespeare monologues and stuff like that. And I thought, wouldn't it be cool to do like a monologue, and then you get people to tune into the monologue, but you don't do the monologue. You just kind of do something else and riff on something dumb. And you go, oh, this is from the movie, blah, blah, blah. And it's totally not. It's just like a guy ordering cigarettes. It's like, here's a scene from JFK, and it's just some guy going, hey, give me a pack of Marlboros. And throughout me doing the monologue, I start talking to this guy named Tommy, and it just became me talking to Tommy, hanging out with Tommy. So I'd be like, hey, here's rent. And I'd be like, hey, Tommy, did you pay rent this week? You know, but I always made a point to say the title of the movie, like as my last line or something like that.
Yeah, those are so funny. They make me laugh every time. Every time I see one, I'm like, "Hun, you gotta watch this one. It's great."
It's funny because I did a lot of them, and I just got them all backlogged. So I'm just kind of like re-editing and putting them up. But I worked on this movie. It was actually another Western. I don't know what's the deal with it, if it's coming out or not. But I worked on it, and as I got there, this guy's like, hey, there's a guy on TikTok. Look at him. I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, you do those monologues, man. It's Tommy's. Hey, it's Tommy. I'm like, oh, yeah.
I feel like Tommy. I feel like when you're doing those, I feel like I'm the Tommy character when I'm just sitting there.
You are
going,
the Tommy character. It is direct. I'm going to change his name to Ken.
No.
So, I'm just protecting you. So.
Oh my God! If you did, I would laugh so hard. If you did one, and you were like, "Hey, Ken. Hey, Tommy.
Hey, what's up, Kenny?
Yeah, what's up, Kenny?
What's going on?"
You know, it's so funny though. When I go back to Jersey, I immediately go from Ken to Kenny because everybody there knew me as Kenny growing up. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's Danny in New Jersey for me.
There you go.
All my family. Yep. So you've got the Ken dropped that little Cal Ripken nugget there. I see the hat, the City Connect hat there. That was a fun season that we had for the Orioles the last year, kind of unexpected. How was that out there in LA for you?
Oh, it's great because nobody really knows of the Orioles here. It's all Dodgers. But I always, when the Angels play the Orioles, I always go see the games.
Nice.
And it's funny, when I moved out, I would check the Orioles scores the next day in the paper, and that was the only access I had. But now I can watch all the games and do everything, and it's great. So,
do you ever get a chance to get back to Maryland and get to Camden Yards?
I have not been back to Maryland since that time I was back there. I worked on it's a TV series coming out, and Orioles were out of town then, so I couldn't I couldn't go see a game. But
yeah,
cool.
I've seen previews for it. It's Lady in the Lake. I've seen previews.
There are. I haven't heard anything about
I'm in
it,
them. I'm in the previews.
You're in the previews?
Yeah, which I didn't believe. I was kind of like, all right, well, I worked a couple of days on it. So, and when I saw the previews, people were sending it to me and saying, "Hey, Ken, I saw you." I was like, "Hey, news to me. I didn't even know." They're doing previews for it. Lady in the Lake. It's coming out in a few months.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah,
I'm in it.
I know. I know, which is fantastic. Yeah, it was strange working on that because I don't know how much of what I did. Because the one day that I was there, and I was there all day, and we shot this elaborate scene outside, and I was on the megaphone the whole time yelling at this guy inside a building, and every take I was on the megaphone, and I was like, they didn't give me a script. And then I asked them, I said, what do you want me to say? And the director came over and she said, I'll make it up. So here's where the improv comes in handy, right?
So Ken's on that megaphone. Hey, Tommy.
Yeah.
Hey, what are you doing in there, huh? The fuck, bro?
That's great. I got to start. Hey, Tommy. Every actor from now on that's across from me is Tommy. It's just going to be Tommy.
Hey, get off my shed, Tommy. Hey.
My grandpa used to do that. He called all the guys Sid because he couldn't remember any of our names. So we were all Sid. Hey, Sid.
Hey, Sid.
Okay. Yeah.
Use guys.
Use guys. Hey, use guys.
I don't know why he's this like. I never understood like how he kind of morphed into this Jersey, Long Island guy. My monologue. So it's like, oh, okay, this is this guy now. So.
It's pretty awesome, though. I got to tell you. Like I said, I could watch those all day long, every day. So, yeah.
Yeah, I got a whole bunch of them. So
keep cranking them out.
They're cranking.
Yeah, keep cranking them out because the stuff that you're putting out is pretty hilarious. And I hope you do more stuff. I hope you do, and in the projects we have coming up, I hope we can get you on somewhere just to have you come out and play, just have fun.
What do you have coming up that you want to put on people's radar?
I am doing a quick scene on Young Sheldon.
Nice.
On the 29th, I think. And I also did That 90s Show. And then Lady in the Lake's coming up. And then there's a movie called Tim and Millie, but I don't have any information on that one. I got a bunch of things in the can, so I
love when actors are like, is that all? I love it. I love it.
I worked hard to get to that point. So.
Exactly.
It's good.
Yeah, it is good. And congratulations on all your success, man. That's amazing. We're going to wrap this up. And if you could throw us to the theme song that we heard is probably the best part of this show.
Hey, Tommy. Hey, check out this theme song, huh? I made it myself. It's cool, huh? Check it out. It's about Ken. Good old Kenny over here.
Appletinis with Ken. Appletinis with Ken. Oh yeah, Appletinis with Ken. Oh. Appletinis with Ken. Oh yeah. Oh. Appletinis with Ken. Appletinis with Ken. Oh yeah.